Hey everyone, I'm Scott from Myelitis and welcome to episode 8 of Scott's story. I have some more updates to share with you about how my MOG antibody disease journey is going. In this video I'm going to be talking about a bit of a mix-up with my medication, starting Azathioprine and along with tapering completely from steroids and all the side effects involved. So, let's get started. A quick recap from last episode was that I had tapered from 2.5 milligrams of prednisolone steroids down to 1 milligram per day. I'd also been given the green light to start Azathioprine after a few weeks of keeping at 1 milligrams of steroids without any issues. Lastly, it seemed that my symptoms have started to improve, especially with my bladder, but that may just be due to managing them better. So the first thing to update you guys on is a mix-up with my medication schedule. So, during the last call I had with my neurologist, he mentioned that the tapering schedule would be going from 2.5 milligrams of steroids down to 1 milligram of steroids and then to start Azathioprine. But after a few weeks of starting the 1 milligram dose of steroids, he rang me out of the blue and asked me how Azathioprine was going so far. Now, I was a bit confused at this and explained I had only tapered to 1 milligram of steroids and not started Azathioprine yet like he'd said. And I asked should I have started Azathioprine at the same time as starting the 1 milligram of steroids. And he answered basically saying yes, I should have started Azathioprine at the same time as starting the 1 milligram of steroids, but that overall it didn't matter too much. The drop to 1 milligram was only supposed to make the switch to Azathioprine easier. And I basically replied, well, at least we know now, if another attack does happen after I switched to Azathioprine, then we can pretty much rule out it being due to tapering from steroids, since I'd now been on the 1 milligram dose for around 2 weeks. So we then agreed that I'd start Azathioprine from the next Monday. Now thankfully nothing happened with this mix-up with the medications, but it was a good lesson just to make sure to double check and confirm the schedule, especially if you're changing medications and dealing with lots of different dates and doses like I was. In future, I would make sure to write down exactly what is being said to me and then at the end relay it back to the neurologist just to make sure we were both on the same page. So this next part of the video is going to be talking about starting Azathioprine. On the 16th of August I began taking Azathioprine, which is an immunosuppressant medication which will help calm the body's immune system. In my case, the reason why I am using it is to control my immune system and to prevent future MOG antibody disease attacks, which is where the immune system mistakenly attacks the myelin covering the nerves of my central nervous system. And I started this by taking 2 25mg tablets, one in the morning and one in the evening. This lasted for 2 weeks before the dose was set to increase, and during this time I didn't really feel any different apart from occasionally feeling a bit tired and fatigued, but nothing too serious. Then after 2 weeks I increased the morning dose to 50 milligrams, so I was then taking 75 milligrams each day, 50 milligrams in the morning and then 25 in the evening. Shortly after increasing this, I did experience a few times where I woke up feeling pretty bloated and my energy levels were very low. But thankfully this didn't stay like this for too long, and after a few days I was feeling much better. After another 2 weeks on that dose, my dose was then increased from 75 milligrams a day to 100 milligrams a day, which is split 50 milligrams in the morning and 50 milligrams in the evening. Now I'm still at this dose and I haven't been on it for too long, so I'll let you know how it goes, but so far so good, and hopefully it keeps me relapse free and I don't have too many issues with it. Okay, so the last part of this video is all about the full taper from steroids, and with the update from the neurologist, I was also to begin tapering from steroids completely, and after 3 weeks of taking Azathioprine, I stopped taking the 1 milligram of prednisolone steroids, so I'm now steroid free after 17 months of taking them since my attack. Thankfully I haven't had too many issues so far with the tapering apart from the fatigue, and that's presuming that the fatigue is associated with the steroids, which I think it is due to tapering from previous levels before, every single time I used to taper down 10 milligrams of steroids, it used to be like a week after I used to get hit with a bit of fatigue, especially when exercising. So I presume it's steroids, but it could also be from azathioprine, the MOG, or related to the transverse myelitis damage from the attack that happened in the past. But either way, if it stays like this, I'll be pretty happy, as feeling a bit fatigued some of the time is much better than another MOG attack, providing that I do stay relapse free. But other than that, it's a good achievement to finally get off of steroids for that long, because there was always that worry that the longer you take them, the more the risk is that something bad will happen. And to get off it without any issues or with minor issues is really good. And hopefully I can stay off them now for the long term. A quick summary of this episode was that I had a bit of a mix-up with my medications and the schedule going from steroids to azathioprine, but thankfully there were no issues caused. I started azathioprine at 50 milligrams each day, and I've now increased the dose up to 100 milligrams a day, which is split 50 milligrams in the morning and 50 milligrams in the evening. And as a result of starting azathioprine, I have also managed to fully taper from steroids. Now, it's still fairly early days, but there hasn't been too many issues so far, and I really hope it stays that way. So thanks for watching the video, and if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe. We are currently at 40 subscribers, and I would really like to try and hit 100 by the end of this year, so we have access to more features on this YouTube channel. So if you're able to contribute to that by clicking that big red subscribe button, then please do so. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.